Hello everybody, today we are going to be going over multiple arena teams and some free-to-play friendly teams. Now when I say free-to-play friendly, I am talking about this specific team that you see here up at the top and another similar variation. Why is this team free-to-play friendly? It's because you do not need to have these cookies high level. Look at this player right here, level 90, rank 90. He's got 2-star Dark Cacao, 2-star Wind Archer, 1-star Cream Ferret, and I can guarantee you that's Burning Spice and Mystic Flower, which based off this guy's pattern is probably 0-star and 1-star. You just need them built correctly, and I'm going to show you how. So guys, looking at this team, we'll be going over multiple, but first we'll be going over Burning Spice, Dark Cacao, Mystic Flower, Wind Archer, and Cream Ferret. For this team, the treasures are going to be the Epic Watch, the Dunes, and the Shining Feather. Now when it comes to building this team, for Dark Cacao, you're going to want to focus on cooldown with damage resist bypass, damage resist, and attack. Now, the more damage resist bypass you can get, the better. Damage resist bypass is more useful than having dark damage, and the same logic to Burning Spice. Damage resist bypass is more useful than fire damage. Your top priority should be get that 3-second cooldown and get your damage resist bypass as high as possible. Now for Burning Spice, it's going to be a similar story but with a different base set of toppings. You're going to want to go with full raspberry, get his offense attack as high as possible, and then get that damage resist and damage resist bypass as high as possible as well. When it comes to Mystic Flower, you are going to want to focus on that 2-second cooldown, which is at 44.5% CD, and then as much damage resist as possible. Now there are two areas on this team that really make or break the team from Grandmaster 3 to Grandmaster 2 to Grandmaster 1, and that is the amount of damage resist Mystic Flower has and the amount of damage resist bypass Dark Cacao, Burning Spice, and Wind Archer have, which leads to me to the next character, which is Wind Archer. You're going to want to focus on raspberry toppings with him with as much attack and damage resist bypass as possible, and make sure you get damage resist on there as well because you don't want him to die early. For the final one, we've got Cream Ferret. Cream Ferret is just as high as cooldown as possible with as much damage resist as possible. There's really no limit. If you notice your Cream Ferret is dying a little bit early, you know, you can add some damage resist, but I'd shoot for at least 20% damage resist and at least 35% cooldown. Now for the second team, and this is a direct counter to the team that I just went over, and there's only one change. You're going to take out Dark Cacao and put in Snapdragon. Now when it comes to this team, it's going to be a pretty similar concept. 2-second Mystic Flower, Burning Spice with the same toppings, Wind Archer with the same toppings, Cream Ferret with the same toppings, and then Snapdragon. What I did is I focused some on offense and then some on cooldown as well. Since Snapdragon is a pure safeguard cookie, he takes no damage. So you want to focus on as high as cooldown as possible and get that attack up, because the higher his attack, the more he can heal. Now for the third team, and this is a bit of a hyper carry as it's called, and that is going to be Financier instead of Burning Spice. As you can see, we're just changing these teams one by one. You can pick what works best for you, but that first team I went over is the best if done well. If you can't do that first team perfectly, you may want to benefit more from that second. Now for this team, for Financier, you're going to want to go as much almond and damage resist as possible and get some cooldown as well, but really she is the guardian of Wind Archer, and then the other three serve to keep Financier and Wind Archer alive. And then it's the same concept, 2-second cooldown. Everything else is the same as the first two teams. For the treasures, you're going to want to go with the Whistle, the Watch, and the Librarian Cape variant. If you do this team properly, you will succeed on this in this season of arena. Let's go ahead and get in a battle. Let's find a good opponent. Now as I mentioned, this team, the 1-2-2, is a direct counter to this 2-1-2. If you see 2-1-2, that means it's going to be the Burning Spice Dark Cacao meta. Alright, so at first Mystic Flower is going to come in and cast her her ability, and as you can see, they also had a 2-second start. Now really, as I forgot to I didn't mention this during the toppings, but Wind Archer does not need any cooldown. The reason why Wind Archer should not have any cooldown is because when he uses his skill, the final ability, the final moment of his skill is the hardest hitting. And if without any cooldown, that final hit goes off at exactly 1. Now, we just saw a bunch of that go down, but we are actually looking pretty bad right now. He survived that big hit. So it looks like likely his healing cookies are a good bit better than mine to be able to survive that. Now let's go check it out. And as we can see here, really, this is where that Mystic Flower damage resist comes in play. My Mystic Flower did 4.8 million healing. His did 11 million. His Cream Fair did 16 million. Mine did 9.7. So this is really where optimizing the team comes in. As I mentioned that this is a counter to the Burning Spice team, but this Burning Spice team is done very well. High damage resist on that Mystic Flower, good damage resist bypass on the other cookies, and a Cream Fair that just don't quit. Now let's go ahead and go through this one. And this is a Grandmaster 2 actually, with a non-ascended cookies, just promoted, but none of them are ascended. And let's see how it goes. Going to be leading with the Mystic Flower. He is as well. Now really, the longer Mystic Flower survives, the better, because she is almost always going to be the one that uses the Sugar Swan Shining Feather. And that instant death is an example of where increased damage resist comes into play. Now, I've been fighting some tough opponents, but I wouldn't have been able to get to Grandmaster 2 without this team being viable. And as you can see, that's about it. Now, let's check out the stats for this. And again, their Mystic Flower survived and even took more damage, because it has more damage resist. Their Wind Archer did less damage, but still they've destroyed more of my cookies because of this, because of that damage resist bypass, and because of that extra healing. So that's 2 losses in a row. Let's see if we can try with that first team that I mentioned that works best if done properly, because we just lost to that same team twice in a row. We got another 2-1-2 here. So instead of trying out the counter that works against the non-optimized teams, all right, now let's see how this one goes. See if Mystic Flower can survive and use her skill. That's why you need the damage resist. Mystic Flower not having high enough damage resist is the core reason my team suffers. So really, if you have this similar issue, you really want to try to get that as high as possible. And I know it can be difficult while getting that 44.5%. I know it's difficult, but it can really make or break the difference. But even without having ideal damage resist, I was still able to reach Grandmaster 2. So sadly, another loss. But as you can see, it's the same pattern every time. Their Mystic Flower survives, mine does not. There's 2 things that go into that: the damage resist bypass on the offensive cookies and her damage resist. So really, this meta right now comes down to exactly that: how much damage resist bypass you can get on the 3 offense cookies, and how much damage resist you can get on Mystic Flower. All right, guys, so that's everything for today. Sadly, I couldn't get a win in the video demonstration, but the point stands is that the team works. I'm in rank 191. Just had some bad luck. It happens. So thank you guys for watching. I hope these teams do help you succeed and prosper in the arena. And if you guys have some trouble with this, leave a comment below and let me know, and I'll do my best to help you out. If you guys like this video, make sure to watch these others that I think will help you in your cookie run journey as well.